you got to learn how to do things and learn how to deal with people and learn how to deal with all the stuff, the moving parts out here to make the most money. And if you don't never go through any of that, then you're not really learning. You're spinning your wheels, because at some point you're going to have to learn how to be a pimp and make sure your business is in the best scenario to make money. Okay, y'all, good morning. What is it? It's Tuesday morning, wet. You know, they were calling for rain, so it finally came 3 days after they said it would. I'm glad I don't base everything on the weatherman. But we could have very well, you know, not done that job yesterday based on what the weatherman says. And, you know, at the end of the day, I can't, you know, one more job is out of the way that I'm getting paid for. So, yeah. A video, I didn't watch quite all of it, but I did watch most of it. A video where Chad was doing yesterday, where he did a video talking about dropping customers and all. And yeah, I agree with him, man, because if you are, you know, new, you really gotta take on all work and then just kind of work it out. That's what I always say. You know, you know, the longer you're in business, the less it costs you to run, to me, unless you got, you know, 10 employees or whatever. But I'm talking about just on a small scale. You just well, everything has to make sense. And as you know, learn the business and learn what you're doing and learn, you know, there's a lot to learn out here that people don't really realize or think about. You know, every year I go through the customer base, and some customers don't re-up, you know, and those are usually the ones that are not a part of the core anyway. To me, after you've been in business for a while, you got core customers. And for me, the core customers, there's probably just, I'm guessing, about, you know, you need to know all. No, you don't really have to know all that. The core customers, there's probably about 65 or 70 of them. And then all the other work that I get is, you know, where I might have a customer for a year or two, they move, or I might have their cousin or whatever to make up, you know, more customers. But 60 or 70, something like that, are you know, the majority of the customers that I have that really pay the bills. Because at the end of the day, I don't really like going outside of that, and then I try to get as much work from those customers as I can. So as long as those core customers stay with me, the other 30 or so, you know, well, they can drop me, they can, you know, play games with me and all that, and then that gives me leeway to drop them. You know, if their property's way out and I see that it's not something that I really want to do. But you don't want to let customers go and then end up hiring somebody or needing somebody, and then you don't have enough work to pay them because you dropped customers. And then you gotta also know that, or be aware at least, that there's some customers going to drop you, or going to move, die, get brother-in-law to start doing their yard. A lot of little stuff like that, especially customers that are outside of that core that I was talking about. But see what, she's the type that if you go up on her, then her expectations change, right? And the thing about it is, if you go up on them, the expectation needs to be the same, or you're not making any more money. You know, giving them a break in the summer, you know, is what customers, if you're gonna do it all year round. Now, it's okay to stay busy, I guess, but for me, rather make top dollar, you know, and of course everything's a little bit, everything's different on each person, but in my experience, when I go lighter in the summer as far as the money goes, and then try to level it out all year, it never works out for me, because they don't never fire you in the summer. They always fire you in December. I mean in September or so, right after everything stops growing or starting to stop growing. It starts getting a little bit easier for you. And I've had that happen more than I can count, where, oh yeah, they're on a yearly deal and they might do one season, and then they start getting a little attitude because, well, they see that, you know, there's not really a lot to do, and they keep in their head they're paying, you know, and blah blah. But in their head, you know, they're paying for nothing, and they seem to lose the luster of you know, getting it cheaper in the summertime. In other words, they got a short memory, and they lose sight of how they got there. You know, so I know that a lot of people do that, man. You know, they do a little bit cheaper in the summer to level it out 12 months out of the year. I don't do that anymore. I just go on and because at the end of the day, I'd rather have that money and be sassy with it than them holding the money for, well, they're just basically holding your money, you know. And it never fails. They always end up, well, it's a source of contention, really, for me. But this is the time of year, like Chad was saying, that especially in the beginning, you know, in the first 6 or 7 years, it's the time to reassess everything, you know, on the lawn maintenance stuff. And it's also what's happened as I've been in business longer and longer is the market, you know, the market dictates who gets dropped, really, because if I have a whole lot over here and I have one over here, well, that one over there is going to get dropped, you know. But after you're in business for a while, you understand that. So when people call me from a certain, first thing I want to know is where are you located. It's a given I can do any property. I'm not even concerned about the ability to do the property. That's not, you know, and the money is, you know, a factor as well. But the number one factor going in is where they at, you know, and in comparison to where, you know, all my other customers are. So normally during the season, I won't take on customers that I have to drop based on their location, unless I get an influx somewhere else where I see, you know, like the last 5 years or so, I have picked up a lot of customers in my city, you know, I mean, literally within 6 miles of my house, a lot, probably 15 or 20. So as I'm getting those, even if they don't pay as much as the ones further away, I'm making more money because I don't have to go nowhere. And you don't have to drive. I don't have to, you know, stretch everything out. And if you don't have to stretch everything out, then you can keep more of the money, whether you're solo or with people working for you. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, rarely do I drop customers, period, really, because I know during the season that when a customer calls me and they're trying to blah blah, you know, get me, get on the service calendar, that I won't take them on if they're outside of my core. So there's never really any issues from the very beginning, because I don't have to drop them, because I never took them on because I knew they were outside of where I want to be. Once you're in business for a while, you learn and understand where your money's coming from, right? But if you're just starting out, man, you gotta, you know, and my channel is really geared toward a lot of people that are just starting or thinking about it or whatever. You know, can't be real picky in the beginning. You got to earn the right to be picky. I mean, you can be picky if you want to, but you're not gonna get anywhere real fast, because you got to learn how to do things and learn how to deal with people and learn how to deal with all the stuff, the moving parts out here to make the most money. And if you don't ever go through any of that, then you're not really learning. You're spinning your wheels, because at some point you're going to have to learn how to be a pimp and make sure your business is in the best scenario to make money. You know, and that takes a minute to learn. And then what you do is, after a few years, you can start, you know, those customers that you thought were great, well, you realize they're really not that great. You know, they drag your time. They won't pay. You know, they don't pay you promptly. They don't. You know, they try to play games with the timing, and then they try not to pay good money either. And in the beginning, I did a lot of work really cheap, a lot, and you have to go through that. You know, but if you're out here, you know, self-employed, you're gonna learn, because you're gonna see what things cost, and you're gonna realize, oh my God, I better make money, or if I don't, then I'm going backwards. And it doesn't take a mathematician to do that, to see that, especially after you've been doing it a while. But I left a real long comment on Chad's video when they were talking, you know, when he was talking about, you know, a job that they might have done too cheap or whatever. You know, doing work really cheap, or cheaper than what some of the viewers might think. Well, a lot of times, you know, a lot of times the viewers don't realize the logistics behind everything. Like, you know, well, I can go over, you know, for me, you know, I can go over here and I can make this $300, and that puts me right up the street from those $200 ones, you know. So, you know, and then I can do those two. I can do the $300 ones. We'll say I can do a $300 one. I can do two $200 ones, and then I can get back on this side of town and I can do 3 more. And then tomorrow morning when I get up, I can just do all the ones really close to my house. You know, and see the viewers, the typical viewer that's watching my channel or whatever, they don't really, you know, they don't really see that. They say, well, you took $350 when you could have got $450. But that may be true, but you're not seeing the lay of the land, if you will, on having the ability to do it for $350 and still make more money than if some of you guys may have done it for $450, because of the landscape of the business, if you will, and where it puts you, as far as physically puts you in, you know, in the routing or around other work that you may have that the viewers don't even know about, or a job you might have to go look at. You know, I always do things on the way to doing things on the way to doing things. I would go to the grocery store, I pick up a tire. You know, I don't go anywhere and not do things that are gonna save me time eventually. It might not save me no time today, but who cares? It's raining. So, but come next week or whatever, when I'm hauling a skid steer around, I won't have to fool with the tire and getting it fixed and going and picking it up and all that. You know, I won't have to do none of that. I got it on a rainy day. Of course, in the beginning, it was a lot about money and having the available funds to go buy a tire. Because I understand, y'all, get it, man. I'm a real, you know, come from nothing dude. Actually, literally nothing. So, you can't, you know, tell me I don't know what you know, I don't understand and all that, because I do. I get it. There was a time when, you know, on a rainy day, I didn't even have the money to go pay for a tire that I wasn't using that day. Yeah, and we all go through that. We all go through it. But it's how you come out on the other side and being able to stay with the same thing for a long period of time. You know, being able to stay in business for so long, you learn little things about customers, about, you know, your routing, about employees, about day-to-day just surviving and all that. You learn all these things. But you're not gonna learn in year one. Okay, y'all, so I got a call. You know, I went and got the groceries. I came back home. It's, you know, it was ugly, rainy, nasty. And I uploaded a couple of videos to Facebook. You know, just, you know, really not doing nothing and kind of playing around with my taxes, getting that stuff ready to go. So I had an individual call me. Well, he texted me and wants me to come look at a brush cutting job that he's got. So, of course, before I go, first thing I ask is, you know, where are you at? And then he gave me the address, and he said, "Thanks, Joe." So when I'm sitting at my computer when all this is going on, so I jump on the computer real quick on the county site. I punch in the address, wop wop, and the name of the owner is Joseph. So that just legitimizes everything right off the top. So yeah, it took all of, you know, a minute, and then I text him back and I said I can come look at it. And as I was, you know, texting him, I mean, I could have called him, but I mean, or he could have called me, but if he wants to do it text, I can do it. Might be in the middle of something. So it looks like it's a pretty nice house. And I don't know how much brush cutting he's got or whatever, but it's not a referral that I know of at this moment. Now, when I get over here, you might tell me, yeah, blah, 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 you know, Joe, or whatever, you know, recommended you or whatever. So I don't know if it's something he saw on the internet or, you know, whatever. So yeah, so I'm gonna ride over there and then I'm gonna grab a sandwich on the way home. And yeah, man, so ain't nothing else you can really do today. It's pretty ugly and the temperature's dropping too. And I'm glad too, man, because I'm sick of it being freaking 75, 80 degrees, man. So but you never know what contact you might get or create by looking at jobs. You never know. You never know. Now this place looks like it's pretty big. The house, pool. Looks like you got a big barn too. So it looks like the driveway is asphalt. So little things like that I'm looking at. It looks like it's a new build too. So, but I know I'm not the cheapest. I don't want to be the cheapest. I don't, you know, I just need to pay my bills. So I don't think I'm the most expensive, but I could be. I'm pretty expensive though. Well, to hear, you know, on the jobs I never got, you know, they tell me, oh, that's too much, you know, or whatever. So, because I can do a lot of other stuff. So if the type of work is not, it's just, you know, brush cutting, well, I know I can do that. But I bring a lot more to the table than just that. I could, you know, take trees down, I can grind stumps, and I can do all that. So I love getting on a property that has potential in all those fronts, because then I can maybe develop a relationship with them. Because I'm not trying to beat nobody. I don't have to, you know. And I tell the customer that too. I don't, you know, I ain't got to cheat you to beat you, you know. So I don't like to cheat nobody or anything, because the skid steer can make enough money legit where, you know, just, I don't know, man. I got a decent feeling about it, and what am I basing that on? Well, not hardly nothing, y'all. That's just it. But I know he's over here in the area where there's a lot of new building, and It's not a neighborhood. It's a bigger property than that. I don't know exactly the acres, but it looked like about 5 or 6 acres. I didn't look at the numbers on the county side. I should have. So. I love the bigger properties because there's always something to do. And the people that's got the bigger properties, they can afford it. So. I just thought it was kind of funny that as soon as I put the video up on Facebook this morning, I got this text. So, and the ones I put on Facebook are, you know, less than a minute. They're just time lapse, you know. Damn. Y'all see that? I'm going to show y'all this. This ain't got nothing to do with where I'm going. I just saw this on the. Look at that. Ain't that terrible? Could you imagine that being your house? And look at the big trees all around that shit, man. No way I want my house to be around. I mean, these are huge trees, man. And we're in a low spot too, as far as like a flood zone, because all this is swampy in here. So, yeah. But if you got a property, and not all the time, but just kind of, you know, if you got a property that's 4 or 5 acres, they got a big old house, a big old shed, you know, a big old barn, a big old camper in the yard or whatever, and an asphalt driveway, it tells me that they're not afraid to spend. So, on what's important to them, my job is to make what they want me to do important, and it must be important enough to him to call me. So I don't have to, you know, hardcore sell myself. So I very seriously doubt I'll get footage over here though. Okay, y'all. So I just picked up another job, man. I want to show y'all what it is. So y'all see all this brush? Look, all the way. Yeah, just keep going, Ray. Just keep getting that money, Ray. Yeah, every foot I stepping into another freaking dollar. All of that, man. All of that. Knocked down for probably 1,000 feet that way. So, yeah. So I got the job. Yeah, so I ordered my Sammy. Gonna pick up that and go home and chillax. All right. It's gonna be a good paying job. So basically what I did is since it's a multiple day job, I don't really, you know, well, I told them I'd come over there and work for $1,400 a day. So, and that's brush cutting. So, I mean, it's too big and too many unknowns. I'm scared to bid it by the job. Well, on two fronts. I'm scared I won't get the job, and then I'm scared that it'll take me a lot longer than what I'm thinking. Right now, on jobs like that, where I know I can do the work and I know I can be really efficient at it, and I know that it's more than one day, I'll just do it. I basically just told him, you know, let's do it by the day and then just go from there and see if it's something that, because it's a multi-day job. I want to say 3 days probably or more to get everything that he talked about, but he may not want to do everything. So now I could have added up, you know, 3 days and said, okay, let me get, you know, $4,200 or whatever, something like that. But, you know, when you start talking about that kind of money, well, people, they tend to want to get more quotes. I mean, I'm just being honest. So I didn't use that approach with him. I don't know him, so I had to kind of sell myself a little bit because the work is so sweet, right up what I really like to do. So yeah, a beautiful thing. I love it. And I don't know if I did right by doing it like that, but I don't think I did wrong. Because if I can run the skid steer for 2 days, 3 days, and get $1,400 per day solo, I'll do that, man. I will do that. But I basically just sold him on one day. But I said, you know, because when I told him $1,400, he was a little bit, well, I sensed that. He didn't say anything. But I kind of just told him, I said, well, $1,400 for a day is, that protects me and that protects you. You know, see how much I can get done in a day, and then we can project. You know, the guys that really make the most money are ones that be able to go over there and say, okay, give me $5 grand. You know, but I'm scared to do that. I'll be honest. I'm scared to do that, so I'm not ready for that yet. It's a pretty good paying job, really. But I know that after I do one day over there, he'll want to do another day. I know that because I know what I bring to the table. And it's easier for people to see 1,400 than it is for them to see, you know, 5,000. Even though I might get to 5,000. He don't know me from that. If somebody I knew, you know, I might have approached it different. It ain't even somebody that I got recommended. So I don't even know nobody that knows him, at least not yet. I will when I get home, because I'm gonna do a little research. So, all right, y'all, it's Sammy time, man. I kick it.